series of videos. We have covered Group A, B and C. So logically, we're now on to Group D. If you are from England, then you may know that that is our Group D. Okay, I hope you can still hear this because I have moved the microphone below my it's now connected to my top, so let's hope you can hear it. Either way, let's get started. I might just have to whisper a little bit louder. I have Sky Sports News on at the minute, and they're showing that pain in the arse Alisson scoring for Liverpool yesterday. What an absolute freaking annoying thing to happen. Really wound me up, that did. Anyways, let's get started with this. Remember, if you want to join my European Championship tournament, drop me an email. There are videos on the channel explaining what the tournament will entail. Okay, Euro 2020/21. Let's stick Group D in the middle of here. There we go. Group D it is. Now, who are the 4 teams in Group D? That is the question. There's always a siren going off when I do these videos. What is the chances? I mean, that was a dodgy one, if anything. Okay. The 4 teams in Group D are as followed. England, Scotland, land of iron brew and battered Mars bars. Another country that end up regularly in England's fixture list during European Championships are Croatia. I don't know how many times England have played Croatia in the last 10 years, but it seems to be quite a bit. Next we have the last team in the group. And that is the Czech Republic. Now, this is not going to be an easy group for England by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, I'd say Scotland are the weakest team in the group, but the rivalry alone between Scotland and England will make that a very difficult game. If you've watched the first 3 videos in this series, you know how this works. I will now go through some of the best players for each team and we'll have a little chat about them. So, we'll come on to England last. We'll start with Croatia first. So, one of the names that we all know, and he's getting on a little bit now, been there for a lot of years, but still in the team. Luka Modric, former Spurs and current Real Madrid star, still banging in the goals for Madrid. I think he scored last week for them, I believe. He will be quite important to Croatia doing anything in this group. He dictates what goes on from midfield forwards, and he's still pretty decent defensively as well. We also have in the Croatian team, probably alongside Modric, we have a player who doesn't really find himself in the starting lineup week in, week out for Chelsea since Thomas Tuchel came in. Still gets a few games, but not as regular as he was under Frank Lampard, and that is Mateo Kovacic. He was a free, I don't think they got him on a free, sorry, but he was a signing for Chelsea from Real Madrid, as we all remember, and he is a regular pretty much every game for Croatia in the midfield. I remember watching I think it would have been the World Cup. Was it the World Cup when Croatia knocked England out? Yeah, when England were knackered by the semi-finals and Croatia went into the final, wasn't it? Or have I got that completely wrong? Well, Croatia went into the semi-finals and lost that, and then you know how it went anyways. But this man, maybe not the best defender in the world, but still a bloody pain in the arse. Vida, I remember him getting a move right after that tournament. He was linked with, I think he was linked with Arsenal at the time, and he ended up at an Italian club, I believe. One of the stars for Croatia over the last, I want to say, 6 years has been this man right here, Ivan Perisic, often linked with a move to Man United. United nearly got him from Inter at one point, but the deal fell through, and about a year later he was on loan at Bayern Munich. Very good player, Ivan Perisic, still at Inter Milan now, and pivotal to Croatia going forward. Remember, they don't have Mario Mandzukic anymore. I believe he's retired from international football. But he was, at one point, Mandzukic their main goal threat. Perisic has taken on a lot of that pressure, along with the lad whose name I forget. Oh Christ, he played on the left wing for Croatia against England in that World Cup, and he was bloody fantastic. But I cannot remember what his name is right now. And he was also linked with a move to Man United a couple of years ago, right after that tournament. I'm sure a lot of you know who I'm on about. But Perisic, Modric, Vida and Kovacic, along with Brozovic of Inter Milan, they'll be very important players for Croatia, I'm sure you will agree. Next. Republic, Czech Republic. Let's get straight into this. We have opposition they played, what country they played for, I would not have had an idea. I'd never heard of Soufal. I believe he came in at the beginning of this season for West Ham. He plays right back. He's been one of the best right backs in the Premier League over the last 12 months for West Ham. What a bargain they got with Soufal alongside him in the West Ham team. Well, he plays in the midfield to be fair, but still in the team, just not alongside Soufal. We have Souček. What a menace this lad is. He reminds me a little bit of Fellaini, just like 10 times better. Not as many goals this season for Thomas Souček, but still enough that he's been very, very important to West Ham getting up to where they are in the Premier League, which is currently, I believe, top 6. Without him and Soufal, I don't believe West Ham would be where they are today and in a position to win, well not win, but gain a European place for next season. Next we have Patrick Schick. I'd be lying, I think, I was going to say I'd be lying if I said I don't know who he plays for. I'm pretty certain he plays for Bayer Leverkusen. And he's a regular goal scorer in Germany. Let's have a look at his record. Let me have a quick gander on the apologies everybody. I'm not going to edit that out because that's a pain in the arse to do. Hang on, let me have a look. Patrick. Here we go. Go. So, he plays for Bayer Leverkusen and his goal record is as follows. For the Czech Republic, he has 10 goals in 24 games. That's not too bad. But he's only played 24 games since 2016 for them. And this, since joining Bayer Leverkusen, he's played 26 times and scored 9 goals. Whilst he was on loan at Leipzig last year, he got 10 in 22. So not bad at all. Regular goal scorer. Like 1 in every 2, give or take. And I'm guessing he'll be up front on a regular for the Czechs during the tournament. After that, I was struggling with knowing some of these players, but I did see that this lad was meant to be pretty good. His name's Barak for the Czech Republic. He is an attacking midfielder and plays for Verona over in Italy in Serie A. And another one of their regulars, played a lot of games in the qualifying rounds for this competition. Let's move on to Scotland. Wee bonny Scotland. Okay, so it's safe to say that a lot of Scotland's best players, well, not a lot, but at least 2 of their best players are both left backs for their clubs. So we'll put them together. We have Andy Robertson and Kieran Tierney. Robertson for Liverpool. Okay, if we're being honest, even the most hardened of Liverpool fan will say Robertson has not had a great season, not compared to the last couple of years. But that goes for the whole team pretty much. The problem, Steve Clarke, the season. A lot of Arsenal fans will say that, I reckon. Along with Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe, one or two of us, Tierney's been a constant when he's been fit to play. So what Steve Clarke did in the tournament was play Robertson at left back and Tierney as a left wing back or left winger, and apparently it was working really well for them. So them two will be a threat against England for certain. Other than them, we have Aston Villa's John McGinn. John McGinn, a midfielder, gets a few goals. Not maybe like 20 a season, obviously, but he'll pop up with a few. I would not be against betting a few quid on John McGinn scoring at the Euros. I wouldn't put my house on it, mind, but out of the Scottish players, you would be surprised if he got a goal. They also have Grant Hanley, the Norwich defender and former, I think he's originally at Blackburn, from what I remember. Grant Hanley was voted the player of the season at Norwich by Sin recently. So he was had a great season down in the Championship. And he'll be coming up with going to the Euros with a stack of confidence after gaining promotion with Norwich City after one season back in the Championship. Last but not least, one of their best players, in my opinion, and that's not being biased. They have Scott McTominay, the Manchester United midfielder, who has been very good for United this season. Lost his place last season under Ollie, but this season regained it. Is a regular in the midfield at United and will be looking to go to the Euros and upset a lot of England fans, the country where he plays his football. And he has a goal or two in him, doesn't he? Scott does, so do not be surprised to see him pop up with a goal for Scotland at the Euros. Last but not least, we are on to England. England is my country, and the country I'll be supporting at the Euros. That goes without saying, really, doesn't it? Anyways, let's get rocking and rolling this. I've picked out England's 4 most important players, in my opinion, to them getting through this competition and progressing. First we have Harry Kane. Yes, England still have goals in their team without Harry Kane in there. If Kane's out, they have Calvert-Lewin, they could call Patrick Bamford, they got Sancho, you have Foden, Sterling, etc, etc. But if we're being honest, the main goal threat is Harry Kane. Probably the best striker that'll be at the Euros is Harry Kane, maybe alongside Robert Lewandowski. And Harry Kane will be looking to add to his England goal record and hopefully win some silverware for the first time in his career, which is something I don't think he'll ever do with Spurs. Next we have Phil Foden. If you told me 12 months ago, I would be insisting that he played in England's first game at the Euros. I'd have said, don't be soft. If he gets in the squad, he's a lucky lad. I'd have said that 12 months ago. Man City, he's been pivotal to them winning the Premier League. They've won the Carabao Cup, and he could be going to Champions League when they meet Chelsea in the final. That is a hell of a accomplishment for a young kid from Stockport. So, fair play to him. Next we have Declan Rice. He's been injured for a few weeks at West Ham. Just getting back to fitness. I believe he played on the weekend. I didn't watch the game. But yeah, they got the draw, didn't they, at Brighton, West Ham did. And Declan Rice is going to be very important in that midfield for England. There's no Jordan Henderson, remember. He hasn't played for ages, Henderson. If he is taken to the Euros, I think that's a big, big risk, which is something that Southgate doesn't tend to do. You don't really like to pick players on reputation. Whereas Declan Rice, if he's fit, he will be the first name in that midfield on the team sheet. And last, another injury concern for England. And if England are relying on Harry Kane up front to get them through the competition, then it's safe to say defensively they are relying on Harry Maguire, who's been absolutely fantastic for United. Doesn't get enough recognition in my opinion. But until his injury recently, he'd played every Premier League game for United since joining them, giving United I think it's the second best defensive record in the Premier League since he'd been there, behind only, I think it was Man City, I believe. So to not have him there, if he doesn't get over his injury problem, then that'll be a huge, huge blow. Let's hope, for England's sake, he is fit and he can play a pivotal role in the Euros. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you all again real soon.